Hi guys, I'm Bex.
And I'm Grace.
And we're the Packer Sisters.
And today we're doing our second Learn With Us episode. And as you can see, we get to be together, which is way more fun, obviously. Obviously. Because we like each other, you know.
Yeah, it's good. We're good.
So today, Bex is going to teach me how to do something.
Oh yeah, so I really love baking and cooking. And I've been exploring some like gluten-free, dairy-free recipes, especially because of your diet. So I can't do gluten, she can't either, but she also can't do a lot of dairy stuff. So this is great for anyone with a ton of food allergies because this recipe doesn't have eggs or any of the other stuff I mentioned. So this is easy to make. You can make it last minute super fast. So it's a gluten-free focaccia. I think it's focaccia.
I think it's focaccia.
I always say that wrong, but focaccia bread.
Yeah.
And it's delicious, and my husband and I make it like all the time with like some garlic dipping sauce, which we'll make along with it so you can see how it looks.
Good.
So all you're gonna need,
If you want to bake with us.
we have our ingredients here.
Oh my god.
So we're gonna use the Bob's 1-to-1. If you're gluten free, we recommend this one. And this is what I've used before, and it makes it really good. So here's what the recipe calls for: is 2 1/4 cups gluten free flour,
The Bob's 1-to-1.
2 teaspoons of baking powder,
We got our little baking powder right here.
1.5 cups warm water, which we'll get
Get some water.
1 package of instant or rapid rise yeast, which I think
Our
is like
yeast.
2 1/4 teaspoons. We can look that up later and we'll let you know too. 1 tablespoon of honey or sugar or agave. We're gonna do honey.
We decided honey tonight.
I usually use sugar. It turns out great with sugar, so we're just gonna try the honey and see how it goes.
Give it a go.
We're gonna do a teaspoon of salt.
Got some normal iodized salt.
And then there's going to be some olive oil, and it just changes depending how much you want in it.
So this was the only one that I had, and it is rosemary infused, which is actually, I think, going to be really good because there is rosemary in the recipe. So definitely feel free to use normal olive oil. We just happen to have some of this on hand. So.
Yeah, we're excited to try that out.
I'm sure it'll be good.
And for the toppings, this is what they recommend in the recipe, is either a tablespoon fresh rosemary, which is really good on it.
I mean, it's not fresh, but it is.
It's
rosemary.
good though. You can put Parmesan cheese on top. I've done that before, and it's like cheesy bread. It's real good. Of course, sea salt. That's good too. I tried it. It is a bit salty, but it's good.
Yeah.
And then pepper they recommend as well.
I do have some red chili pepper flakes. That would be good.
We could totally try that. And I know the dipping sauce will have a lot of seasonings too.
Yeah.
And for anyone wondering where this recipe is from, I got it from onelovelylife.com for gluten-free focaccia with rosemary.
We can link it in the comments section or the description section below.
Yeah, highly recommended. So yeah, we're gonna get this all ready.
We're gonna get started.
Yeah, we'll see you guys in a second. We're back.
Sorry. I don't know what I'm doing.
We measured out all of our ingredients like we told you in the first part. And yeah, it is 2 1/4 teaspoons for the yeast. So just have that handy. And you're gonna let this dough rise, depending what kind of yeast you have, for like 30 minutes to an hour. If you have the rapid rise yeast, that's gonna be 30 minutes. And if you have normal yeast like we do, it's going to be like 45 minutes to an hour. I usually just do 45 because I can't wait too long because I need that bread. It's good.
Also, it's kind of lunchtime, so
So we're
ready for food.
We're going to do 40.
All right.
So the first step is you're going to need like a 2-cup liquid cup measure. And you need 1.5 cups of warm water, which Grace will get for us. So, she got 1.5 cups,
Like warm/hot-ish
warm water. Yeah, you can use hot water and that should be totally fine. So what we're going to do next is you're going to add the yeast and the honey together in the hot water. So here's our yeast and the honey and our honey. So yeast, honey, bee.
So sticky. Do I need to stir it?
We will. Sometimes I stir it with a fork, or you can probably just use that.
This cute little spatula.
And then
To get all that good honey out.
we need 2 tablespoons of olive oil.
And then a weird mixture going on here.
Yeah, and then you let this sit for like 5 minutes. And the reason I do it first is you let it sit while you do the rest. You know, you really don't have to count out 5 minutes.
Oh, that smells so good.
As long as it looks like it's kind of fermented, you're fine.
That.
Yeah. That's what the bread's gonna smell like. Rosemary, olive oil.
This
yummy.
is freaking awesome. I'm pretty
Right.
sure. Okay, so like mom and dad, if you watch this, I'm pretty sure you bought this
Yeah,
for me. So
Our
thank
parents
you.
got us
It's
fancy
amazing.
stuff.
I don't even know where it came from, but maybe I
Oh.
can find out and tell you because this smells so good.
All right.
So
Yeah,
good.
thanks, guys. It's gonna make our bread that much better.
All right.
So now we set that aside, and we're not gonna touch it because we just gotta let it do its thing.
No touch.
But now we are gonna combine all the dry ingredients. So our flour,
All right, here we go. Dump.
and then the salt, and the baking powder.
Boom.
Bam.
There you go. Got you.
And kind of like mix it together as best as you can so they're more combined. Because then once this looks like it's fermented after about 5 minutes or so, then you'll just add it in, mix
Now
it all
it's looking
together.
Very interesting. The
Yeah.
olive oil is kind of like separating all of it and sitting on top.
Yeah, that's what we want. Yummy, yummy, yummy.
So, what kind of meal do you usually eat focaccia bread with?
You can eat it as like a side with pasta. I know we've done that. Sometimes it's just a nice snack. I just like eating the focaccia bread with like a little bit of like vegan cream cheese on it. It's really good.
Ooh,
Or-
kind of like a bagel.
Yeah, or vegan butter. Like, it's good.
I got
It's really
plenty
good.
of butter, so we could do that.
Yeah, I recommend that especially. It's like a breadstick. That's all I have to say. So you gotta try it for yourself. We're going to mix together our yeast with our dry ingredients now that we've let it
It
sit.
looks kind of gross. on
It
top.
does, but it's gonna taste real good. So go ahead and pour it all in.
Whee! Here we go.
And now you just mix it together.
Mix it.
And it's
good.
not gonna be like normal bread though. It's gonna look kind of battery, and that's what you want. So
Mm.
you're just gonna mix it all together. Try to get as much clumps out, but you don't want to overmix it either, because as you know, gluten-free flour does not do well with overmixing.
Mm-mm.
And you can totally use normal flour if you just, don't have gluten-free flour.
Or if you don't want to make gluten-free.
Yeah.
Which is also fair.
So it should kind of look like this. If you kind of see the consistency, it's almost like cookie dough, but a little wetter.
Mm-hmm.
And there should be some air bubbles in it.
Yeah. Oh, that's yum.
So now what we're gonna do, and you won't see this part because it's gonna take a while, we're going to cover this with like plastic wrap or a towel, set it somewhere warm, and let it rise for, 45 minutes. So we'll be back to show you what to do next.
Yeah.
So we just got back from the walk, letting the dough rise, and it has risen quite a bit.
Quite large in comparison.
Yeah, if you see, that's about double the size that it was, which is perfect. And so what we're gonna do is use just a cookie sheet. Make sure it has edges just in case the dough decides to get a little crazy. And you want to make sure it's like non-stick or the silicone, what would you call these?
Just a silicone mat.
Yeah, they help a
baking
lot.
mat.
Yeah, so you're gonna kind of spread it like a cake. So take your dough, you just slap it on, and it should look really airy and fluffy.
Yeah. It
Like you can kind of see
looks
in
like
there.
bubbly.
Yeah, so that's perfect. And then you're just gonna get it out, and you're gonna prepare your toppings.
Ooh.
So, in our
What-
case, we don't have like cheese or anything. We just have the rosemary. So we're just gonna use that today. And yeah, I'm just literally spreading it out like I would a cake.
Do you do it on the whole thing, or do you just like spread it out as thin as you want?
Yeah, as thin as you want, as thick as you want. I like to kind of go for maybe like, I want to say it could be 1/4 to 1/2 inch thick. Just so it has some air bubbles still in it, which are really tasty, but also so it gets crunchy. So you're not gonna really fill this whole thing if you're using the same size as I am.
Yeah, this kind of pan is huge, so
Yeah, it's not gonna fill the whole entire pan, but it's gonna fill most of it.
you can see her work. Look at this. She's so graceful.
Kind of push it
So
to the
elegant.
edges. I know, you can make it any shape you want. I just do a weird rectangle because then
uneven.
you can just put it on a cutting board after it cooks. And that's really
Sweet.
easy to like cut it up however you want. So
That makes sense.
that's what I do.
So what do we do? Do we just...
So now go ahead and just sprinkle it on. Whee!
Okay, so mine's actually a grinder.
Oh wow, I haven't seen that before.
I think I bought it at like Marshall's, to be honest.
Probably makes it taste really fresh, I'd think, because it's like,
How much do you like up here?
I mean, I like the rosemary quite a bit, so
Okay, so we
get
go
some right in
heavy.
the middle. Yeah,
We go heavy.
That's perfect.
No!
Okay. Oh, more. We need more. So you can see how it's laid out. We put our rosemary on it, and we preheated the oven to
400.
400 degrees. So we still need to wait till it's ready to go, but once it is, we'll just pop this in, and it'll be like 30 minutes. If your oven cooks fast, maybe check it after 20 minutes. But basically, to make sure it's all the way cooked, you don't want it like doughy, and it should be a little brown around the edges and underneath, but not like black, you know, not overcooked.
Not charred.
So you'll be able to tell, I think, once it's done. So yeah, you'll get to eat it soon.
And we'll show it to you when it's done.
Yummy. Right, so we're gonna make the dipping sauce while we're waiting for the bread to finish baking. Grace is making some pasta to pair with it, so it'll be delicious. So to make this dipping sauce, it's super easy. We have olive oil, we're using the same one, rosemary, some lemon juice, some red pepper flakes, any seasoning that you want. I like to go with some oregano and Italian blend, a little salt, some garlic, and if you want like some Parmesan cheese, nutritional yeast, we're not going to use that today, but you can use that if you want to. Okay, so I start out with some olive oil. I'll try not to use too much.
Are you just eyeballing it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you kind of just want to fill it up to the point where the olive oil fills up, you know, about this much. I don't know how much that's going to be, but I'd say maybe a 1/3 cup if I was estimating. And then just for some sweetness, you're going to add maybe like a teaspoon of lemon juice. It's not very much, and you can always add more if you want later. Maybe even 1/2 teaspoon if you don't want it that sweet. And then go ham on the garlic, because we all like garlic.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
So much
I put in about a tablespoon of garlic. And then mix it up, so you should see a lot of chunky garlic in there, which is what you want.
that's like the equivalent of 6 cloves, right? Like,
Yeah, that's what we want. This is a dipping sauce. You're just gonna dip it. It'll last a while. I like to do just a pinch of salt. This thing does not.
it's not a great shaker.
So yeah, just a pinch of salt in there. And just a pinch of the red pepper flakes. You don't want it too spicy, but you want that flavor. So I'm
There's
putting in
literally like 4 flakes on
a tiny bit, yeah. Just like 4 flakes.
That's how you measure it.
I like to make there be a lot of green stuff in it. So
lots of Italian and lots of oregano.
you want to be able to see kind of that green color when you're mixing it around. Like if you've gone to a restaurant and gotten a dipping sauce, there's a lot of seasonings. Or even more. Just, oh my gosh, it's
There you
gonna be
go.
so spicy.
Oh.
And then you mix it up, and then you could add your cheese here as well, and that would be really good. You could add just normal pepper if you'd prefer. It tastes good with a kick though. And then what I'm gonna do to make sure it's just right is dip my finger in. And yeah, that tastes real good.
I'm excited to try it.
So yeah, see how it's kind of like a greeny yellow color? That's what you're looking for. And yeah, you dip your bread in it and it's really good. Bread will be out soon. So here's the focaccia bread. I'll kind of show it so you can see a little better here. Here you go. Looks fresh and delicious. And then I just take one of these knives here and cut them into strips. You can cut it however you want. But yeah, we're gonna let it cool and then we'll actually give it a try because it's a little hot right now.
Maybe super excited.
Yeah, this is gonna be
I'm
good.
also super hungry, so that doesn't help either.
I'd give it 5 to 10 minutes to cool off if you have that much patience. I might dig in really soon though. But yeah, it's nice and crispy and fluffy.
Yeah, I feel that.
I think the honey actually might be better for this.
Really? Why do you say that?
I can just notice a difference in the texture. Like it's just different. I don't know what it is. But... And don't be worried if the insides are a little gooey with gluten-free flour. That's just kind of how gluten-free flour works.
Yeah. It tends to be gooey for some reason. I don't know.
But I recommend with the gluten-free version, toast them in the oven if you want to reheat them.
That was our alarm.
The oven's going. But yeah, if you want to reheat them, toast them if you have like a toaster, or just reheat them in the oven so that they're crispy again, and they're really good reheated. So yeah, it's gonna be good. Yeah,
There, we taste a little bit.
Yeah, just tiny bit because it'll burn our mouths probably. But
Whoa.
yeah, what you think?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I want this every day.
I know. I used to make it once a week.
Whoa. It is so good though, but I kind of feel like this is great.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I would add more pepper and lemon though.
Let's do it.
Should we do it?
So we're gonna go eat our bread now.
You should make some too, and then you can join us and have a good time. So we're gonna eat it with some spaghetti for lunch, and I'm sure it's gonna be delicious with the marinara sauce too. So
Trust me, it is.
so yum.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us.